All right, it's 1 o'clock. So let's go ahead. We'll get started. I know it looks like there's still some more people attending, but we'll kick things off. Good morning and good afternoon to everybody who's attending our webinar today. And thank you so much for taking the time to join us. My name is Kathleen Owen. I'm the head of marketing here at Bravo, and just have the pleasure of acting as your host and your MC. Tally Mack, our CEO, is going to be doing the bulk of the presentation and really announcing some exciting new things that we have. As most of you know, Bravo is committed to constantly investing in the development of our software platform. We always want to make it intuitive and relevant and ultimately enable pawnbrokers to run their businesses in an effective and profitable way. And so we are excited to announce a whole new communication package, new pricing structures that Tally is going to talk about, and also talk about the significance of those things. So real quickly, what we'll cover today are the actual enhancements that are coming with text messages, among some other things in that communication package. And then we're actually going to share with you what the new pricing and the tiered pricing looks like, and how we've really put a lot of thought into how to make that affordable and more intuitive for all of you on the line. Just a few housekeeping items. We are recording today's webinar. There's probably going to be a lot of stuff that we cover that you want to revisit or perhaps pass on to your own team members. So keep an eye out for the recording. We'll probably be sending that out within the next 24 hours. As you know, we love and encourage participation. We want to make sure that we get all of your questions answered. So feel free to shoot questions into the Q&A or the chat section, and we'll be moderating and make sure that we get all of those questions answered for you. And lastly, if there's anything in particular that you really want to be discussing today, you can always get in touch with us by giving us a call. And actually, near the end of today's presentation, we'll share with you a URL. It's just a landing page you can go to if you're interested in hearing more about the packages we talk about or actually upgrading. You can just fill out a really simple form and we'll get in touch with you. We'll hook you up with the right person. So before we go over the UI, or excuse me, all of the enhancements with the communication platform, excuse me, we just wanted to share some of our rationale for really looking at why these things are important, why evaluating our capabilities in the platform are important from a communication standpoint. And internally, we've really taken a step back and said, are we enabling our pawnbrokers to be providing the best customer experience, to be exceeding customer expectations? And this is just a sampling of reputable research that's out in the market. It's accessible to any of you if you Google. A lot of this is through Gartner. But we can see that consumer demands are changing, and consumers are demanding more. Their expectations are being raised. They want seamless omni-channel experience when they're interacting with your brand. So they want to feel a seamless experience when they are brick and mortar, when they're dealing with you on text messages, when they're receiving email, if they're on live chat on your website. We also, through market research, know that consumers are constantly on their phone, right? You see that they're checking it 52 times a day. Given the amount of time that consumers are spending on their phones, there's this massive opportunity for you to be communicating in a very effective and relevant way, marketing, and also just reinforcing the value of the interactions and the relationship you have with your consumers. We see SMS open rates, right, are way higher than email open rates. But when you also couple those things together, it's an effective communication strategy. We know that consumers actually prefer to receive their promotions via text message over other methods. And we also see that the majority of consumers, over the 50%, have push notifications enabled on their phone. So part of what we do at Bravo is we look at the market, we see what's happening, we see what consumers are demanding, and then really look at our platform and say, how can we enhance our platform so that pawnbrokers are able to actually meet the demands of their client and their consumer base. So now I'll turn it over to Tally to talk to you about where some of these ideas came from in terms of the feedback that we actually get from all of you, our customers.
Thanks, Kathleen. So I just wanted to start, if you can post in the chat box whether you currently use the digital marketing platform. So if you can just put yes or no, just so I can get an idea of how many of you guys are actually using this platform already or are not yet using it. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for the feedback. So one of the things that has happened over the last 2 months is that communications to your customers has become of extreme importance and a lot higher frequency. Our text messaging usage has skyrocketed as well as our email usage and our push notifications. And what that left us with is the conversation of how to make this easier for you, how to make it more affordable for you, and some user interface improvements that we can make to make the billing more transparent for you. And so we've been asking and we've been listening. And these are some of the things that we've heard from our customers, that a huge one is that pawnbrokers want their phone number that they're texting from to match the phone number that goes to the store line. Another one is that, their invoices are more predictable, or they have an idea and it's not a surprise at the end of the month. That they want to be able to text and use more. They want to start emailing more. They want to send more push notifications, but they're afraid to click the button every time. That people would start sending more promotions if they could, control the cost more. We got a lot of questions in March and April as things were unfolding. We made push notifications and emails and completely free for customers to be able to communicate with your customers. And we've had a lot of people ask if we can continue offering that service. Another question that we get all of the time is if we offer bulk discounting for sending a lot of texts. And as we start to open up more products like reviews and e-receipts, all of these things use text messages. And if there can be some sort of discounting for using all of these products that we are delivering via text message. And then, just in general, being able to communicate more freely with your customers. It is the most open way to communicate as far as open rates go. And like Kathleen said, people always have their cell phones in their hand. People are more likely to notice that their cell phone is missing than their wallet is missing. So just a little bit of, what we've been up to on our end over the last 2 months as we've been working on some improvements and new pricing for you. So one more question, who is currently in our Facebook group? That's Bravo Chat for Pawnbrokers. Yes, no? Cool. Toby, get in that. Okay, awesome. That's one of the main areas, in addition to the Solution Center community and customer suggestions. I post in there a lot of different polls and make new product announcements in there for beta. So that's the fastest place that I get feedback. If you're not in that, I would love for you to be. It allows us to gather information really quick as we're starting to develop these things, because some of them are quite time sensitive. So let's jump into some of the enhancements and updates. So the first thing is updated user interface. And all we're trying to accomplish here is transparency and making it easier for you to understand what you're going to be billed, how many texts you're actually sending when you click the button. And I'm going to show you the updated UI that's coming next week on that. The other piece is your Bravo texting phone number to match your store phone number, so that when customers have a question or they want to make a payment or they want to put an item on hold, they can just dial the number directly from the texting number. And then the last thing is we've created a package that includes unlimited email, unlimited notifications, and a tiered pricing for text messaging, so that as you send more text messages, you do get that bulk discount. So let's see the new UI in action. From Bravo, you're going to go ahead and click on customers, and you're going to go to schedule mobile event. So this is how you send birthday events or store anniversaries or custom events. So let's say you're changing your store hours again, you're opening to longer hours. You can go ahead and name that and time it. So we're going to go ahead and set it for the 17th. And we are going to start typing in our message. So one of the feedback pieces that we got from customers is that the store name and store number aren't necessarily included, and how can we make that easier? So we dropped in these new filters for you, where you can just drop in the store name, your store phone number, your customer first name, your customer last name, so that you can make it really easy, customize and personalize this communication. The other piece is up here at the top of the message, you see ×1, and then you see 153, 155, 162 over 160 over 1600. So I want to explain what that is. Sometimes things are easy to us to understand, but it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's understanding what's going on here. So the ×2 is how many texts this is sending. And so now below we have this red box that said, hey, this is going to go to 42 customers and it's going to send a total of 84 text messages. So we're really trying to give you a better understanding of how many texts you're actually sending and you're actually going to be billed for every time you click OK. And so that's what that's doing. Now, the ×2, 260, 160, 1600. 1600 is the max number of characters. So if you get a really long message going, it's not going to allow you to go over 1600. 160 is the number of characters per message. That's standard. That's how many Bravo's going to put in there before it rolls over. And the 425 is the total number of characters that you've included. And now we have this ×3, so that shows you that this actual message includes 3 text messages. So again, we're just really trying to make this transparent for you so that you have an understanding of how many people this is actually going to and that there's no surprises. Okay, so the next piece that I want to talk about is pricing. So the first thing is we've got the store numbers to link to your Bravo texting number. That's going to be an upgrade now. That's not on this particular page, but that's going to be $55 a month. And the same 7 cents a text, 5 cents an email, 2 cents a push notification. So that new service that we're offering that we've just developed, that's actually out of beta and ready for you. And like Kathleen mentioned, I'm going to post a landing page at the end of this where you can go and sign up for these different things. Now, for those of you that are big users, and big users can be that you have multiple stores and you're sending a lot of text messages through your multiple stores, or you have a single operation and you're utilizing it for push notifications and promotions and emails and store sales and customer base wide and reviews, and you're sending e-receipts on every transaction, and you're really a high usage user. So this can apply to both single stores and multi-stores and enterprise companies. The number of text tiers is per company. So we're gonna aggregate all of your usage among all of your stores. So there is a benefit, obviously, to that for you multi-store users. One of the things that this new communication platform is going to include is unlimited email and unlimited push notifications. So push notifications are awesome. You can actually just push them directly to make a payment. So it increases redemptions, and it's an amazing way to communicate with your customers and engage them. The common misnomer about pushing notifications and using the mobile app is that customers are less likely to come into your store, and there's been a ton of studies about this, and consumers are actually twice as likely to visit your store when they have an app downloaded. That's because they're more loyal, and you get to create the conversation for them to come in. So instead of expecting them to put another item on layaway as they're making a loan payment, you can actually directly market to them and announce a sale or announce something that you're doing special to bring them in. This new communication platform is automatically going to include the store phone number matching your Bravo phone number, and then the reduced text messaging price. So right away, you're going to get a discount on the 7 cents, and it's going to be 6 cents to start. That's messages, 1 to 5,000. The next 10,000 are going to be 5 cents. From 15,000 to 40,000, it's 3 cents. If you have multi-stores or you've got a ton of text messages that you're sending more than 40,000, just shoot Kristy, Kristy, at Baya.com. We'll post it in the chat, a message so we can create something custom for you. And so when we decided these tiers, we really looked at the usage of our current customers and how this was being used. And for customers that are using reviews and e-receipts and the text messaging for loan notices and layaway notices, those customers are going to fit within this 3 and 5 cent tier almost immediately. So we really wanted to make this applicable to you, and so that you're going to feel the benefit of this new package right away within the first month without doing anything that you're not currently doing.
And Tally, if
Yeah.
oh, I was just going to say, could you just reiterate if the tiered pricing is per store or for the whole company? There's a question here in chat.
So the tiered pricing is per company, and it's at the rate that you send it. So if you send 5,000 texts, those first 5,000 are going to be billed at 6 cents, and then the next 10,000 are going to be billed at 5 cents. And we're going to really carefully detail that item detail for you on your invoice. Again, transparency is a big, it's of a concern to you and it's of importance to us. We want to make sure that we're clearly communicating and showing how you're using all of our products. Now, the store phone number matching the Bravo phone number, there are a few limitations that we've run into for the beta so far. VoIP is not working yet. That is on our provider side. We're working with them on that. If you already have your phone number dedicated to a different service for whatever reason, you can't dedicate your phone line to multiple different services, so you have to pick one. And then the last piece is we tried doing this in Canada and we're not quite ready for that yet. Now, if you are part of the beta, and there were 25 or so people part of the beta, we're going to include this upgrade for you. We really appreciate people jumping into beta and testing and being part of our documentation process. And if you're interested in being in the beta, you can shoot me an email. We do betas for almost all of our products. We're constantly looking for feedback, whether it's a brand new product or whether it's an enhancement to our existing UI. You just shoot me an email, and the next time we're doing a beta, I'll make sure to include you in that. And like I mentioned, Facebook is the best place where we look for customers that are interested in beta-ing products. So I'm going to end on this questions and answers. I can see a bunch of people popping up and questions and hands raising. In the meantime, this is the link, and we can go ahead and post that in the chat box as well, so that you can go in and ask questions or contact us. So I'm going to go ahead and start in the Q&A. If you send out 300 texts a month, how much is that and how has it changed? Okay, I can put together modeling for different stores. I didn't model it at 300. I modeled it at 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, and increments above 5,000. The current package that you're on, if you're sending 300 texts a month, is going to be the one that you're going to want, which is the 35 or 45 a month plus the 752. What I don't know in that is whether you're sending push notifications and emails, because those are included in the new package. So all of these different components feed into that, and that makes a difference in the modeling. That said, I think the upgrade into what we're calling Digital Marketing Plus, which is where your phone numbers match, is a no-brainer. If you're not on VoIP and you don't have that number already dedicated, that is a huge lift. It totally cuts down on frustration of them not being able to reach out to you directly. They can save your store number. The store number is the same one that they call, is the same one that's the texts are coming from. So hopefully that answers that question. I'm happy to go in that into that further with you. Let me jump into the Q&A. Let's see the chat.
Yeah, Tally, it looks like these are great questions. Basically, how do we handle older dead numbers? Are we charging people for texts that don't go through?
Yeah, I'm so happy that you mentioned that. So we updated this in the last release, and I forgot to mention it or show it. But now what happens, we previously marked them as they came back. But what happens is there's a delay between sometimes when the number bounces and when we originally send it. So what we were doing is we were originally sending it, and if it didn't bounce right away, we weren't going back days later and rebouncing it and seeing if those two numbers matched. Now we are doing that multiple times into the future, so that the feedback of whether that number goes through to our carrier, that goes through to their carrier, and then whether that number is good or not, all that feedback's coming into Bravo, and we're marking customers as bad numbers. So there's a little red thing that says it's a bad number. That number will be a DNT until that number is updated, so you're not paying for multiple text messages going to dead numbers. Neil, the 55 is per store, and if I know you've got multiple stores, so you can reach out to Kristy, Kristy at baya.com to talk about multi-store. Doug, hopefully that answered the question on older dead numbers. So the first time we send it, you're charged. This has been going on for a month already. So if you've been running promotions already, all those numbers should be already marked as bad numbers and dead. Billy, customers in the database at both stores. So that's a conversion thing. When we did the conversions, we duplicated databases. It's just the way that it was set up. We have since fixed that. So I'm going to write down a note and make sure that we've updated that, or that we will go in and update that. That was feedback from earlier this year, and especially during holiday promos. So if you're a conversion and you've converted from another system, all the other systems have multiple databases. For every store that you're in, customers have a separate profile. And so when we convert those in, the customers go into every single store. And so as you send a blast to all of your customers, it'll block it if the message is the same, but if the message was different, then it would send the same message slightly different to your customers, however many times they appeared in the database. We have since fixed that based on customer feedback, and that is done. So if that was you, and Billy, that was you, I will check into that and make sure that we've updated that for your company.
And I did just want to reiterate, we did put the link in there for the Facebook group. As Callie mentioned, that's a place where we talk about betas, product announcements, just a awesome place to gather information, stay up to date on what's going on. And then the link, info.bravosystems.com, it's just a landing page, a quick, simple form. So if you want to upgrade to the new platform, you have questions, right, you can just fill that form out, and that'll get routed to our sales folks, and that way we can get in touch with you as soon as possible.
So we'll stay on a little bit later for questions, and we'll answer those as they come through. If you don't have any questions, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to join us on these webinars. We love talking to you. We love getting your feedback. Thank you for voicing your concerns and any issues that you have and any improvements that you can see that would benefit all of our customers on this platform. This is a journey. It's not a destination. We are constantly upgrading and improving, and we really do get that feedback from you in whatever channel you post it. We accumulate it. We talk about it. Our developers, our customer suggestions meetings, and our escalations meetings. So thank you. You are the reason why our platform continues to get better and better. And we wouldn't be here without you. So I really appreciate it. Micah, to answer your question on two-way, that's coming. That's in target for 2020.
Oh yeah, so another question here in Q&A, asking if the texts are one-way, can it be set up as one-way from store to customer?
So right now it's all set up one way from store to customer. That's the way that it currently works. Doug, I can talk with you about that. We've launched several versions of an all-inclusive pro package. We can talk about what that looks like. Nobody's done that because we can't predict the products and features that we're going to be coming out with. We're not slowing down, and so it's hard for us to predict that out to lock you in at a price without increasing it every once in a while. Douglas, I'll call you. Any other questions? The question from Douglas is for a multi-store user with, databases and whether customers are shared or not, or how to combine them. It's a good question. It really depends on what system you came from and how long ago we converted you. And there's a lot of factors in that. So if that's you, post it. I know what systems you guys came from, and I'll look into it on both of you.
And thanks for the feedback, Douglas. We love to know that these are helpful. We're really going to be rolling out at least one webinar a month. We're also going to be launching a new customer newsletter that will have these recordings and invites to these webinars, as well as, latest product highlights. So we just want to make things as simple as possible, make sure you're always informed through multiple means of what's going on. So we love that you're attending. Thank you.
All right, if that's all, have a good rest of your day. Thanks again. Feedback's welcome. My email address is tally@baya.com. I would love to know what you think, or if you have questions, or if you want me to model this out for you to your specific store.
Thanks everyone. Have a great day.